The following is a game review, and this particular one is for the game Burnout for the PlayStation 2. Now, I'm going to make this very clear. For the longest time, I wasn't a fan of racing games because I thought they were virtually impossible to actually get anywhere with. CRC Pro if you don't believe me. Anywho, this game is an example of what not to do with racing games. Okay. It's clear to me that Acclaim, the company that made the game, was trying to think of ideas of what to do with their game. Okay. You have a championship mode. This means eventually it's like a simulation mode. No biggie, right? Well, the idea is that you go through a race and you have to try and make it to a certain position within a set number of laps. One thing the game doesn't tell you is, by the OPS, you also have a regular timer that you must beat. So you want to take your time because, did I neglect to mention that you have traffic to dodge? Well, yeah, you do. You have traffic to dodge, so therefore, if you hit that, by the way, they score you as far as the amount of money that the wreck could be worth. This is important because there's actually a horse drivers board. Yeah. And believe it or not, I have the top score on there because I wreck a lot. The game, generally speaking, likes to do it where you're moving so fast and here comes the turn out of nowhere, so you're like trying to make the turn, but if say a car is coming at you, you have a problem. Because you might not, if it's a blind turn, meaning you're making a turn you can't, and somebody's coming from out here, you can't see them with enough time to brake. This is the problem, people. Unfortunately, it gets even better. Because of the time limit, you're trying to figure, okay, how do I take my time but still drive like a maniac? Especially if you're trying to get in the lead. This is something that games like the Need for Speed games actually correct. Because you're not technically speaking timed unless you're doing a time knockout. Then you have to hurry. Other than that, you're well and good with yourself. Depending on you can win that, you can actually win cars, and they do give you 3 quote lives, or credits as they call them. And trust me, to even learn the track, you're probably going to need them all, because otherwise you're stuck. What's a real pain in the ass is you could be on the verge of actually getting up to the leader. Here comes a car out of nowhere. Boom! The game does give you a burn meter. Do I know what the burn meter does? No. Do I wish I could tell you? Yes. But they have this meter down here that we put down here, which we call your burn meter. Well, I wish I could tell you what it does. Problem is, I haven't gotten it full enough to understand it. Nor have I bothered to look up the instructions. What the hell. I know it's never good looking reading the manual like a jackass. But let's see here. Yeah, I know this is exciting, right? Oh fuck, wait no. It doesn't tell you in here. I just looked. Then again, I was speed reading because I didn't want to, do something stupid. Anywho. So yeah, that's great. You give us a meter down that will go down here, and you're not going to tell me what it does? Have you lost your mind, people? Even more so, this game actually has an autosave feature. Well, that's great, considering that most people probably aren't going to get past the first track. I've been personally trying to figure out what's a more frustrating game. This, or Last Resort on the SNK Arcade Classics Volume 1. And trust me, Last Resort is up. It's probably in the lead, but barely, because this game is good night, Irene. There's a couple more games in the series for the PlayStation 2. I do plan on picking them up at some point, however, just to see if they're any better than this one. I personally think Acclaim was trying to see what they could do with the game, with a racing game, to give it an arcade feel, and yet make it, seem like a simulation. But to me, all they did was confuse the fuck out of people. Then again, when you look at the copyright year of 2001, that tells you it was pretty much when the PlayStation 2 was first coming out. I really don't know how to explain this one to people, but yeah, you know what I mean. Anywho, here's a bottom line. If you were to ask me on a scale of 1 to 10, would I recommend a game? It's about a 4. I would say it's lower. About the only redeeming quality is you can actually save your best crash replays. So yeah, it's basically like being on a short track in NASCAR, where a lot of beating and bang goes on. But yeah. Anywho, that's the review for Burnout for the PlayStation 2. I'll see you down the road. And when next time I see you, it will be as far as a game review, it'll be next Thursday when I have Heavy Rain for the PlayStation 3. Good night.